from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive. I got the blue suit on today, American flag blue. You already know what it is. You already know what's up. Playing the Barbra Streisand intro that many of you have now grown to hate because you've seen it. You've seen it a lot, but I still love it. Still has a very special place in my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, we're live. We're alive. And I hope everyone's having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today's another great day for great American patriots. It is, ladies and gentlemen, Monday, Newsday, 11:29 a.m. on July 6th, 2026. You already know what's up. You already know what it is. Coming to you live from stolen Tongva land. Unfortunately, Mexico lost last night. My heart is with Mexico. As you guys know, I am a Flexican myself, but I think the Norwegian Vikings will avenge the Mexicanos. Will avenge La Raza. Holland will avenge with the epigenetic memories of Vikings. Holland will turn England back to Denland once again. But that's neither here nor there. This is the part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of Hasanabi Piker in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. So help me God, that's what I'm going to do. And Holland Boo. I watched him, not Holland Boo, sorry. I watched Mexico in the last moments play their heart and soul out, okay? Play their heart out, play their soul out. With the obvious altitude advantages, I thought they had a real shot here to defeat England. You always got to root against England. That's just the number one, right? That's the number one rule of the World Cup is the whole world roots against England. So much so that I would go so far as to say the world would probably root for America if America and England were to match up 1776 style. But England, with the Viagra that they may or may not have taken, clearly had a tactical advantage. What if it's England versus Argentina? Don't have an opinion on that at that point. In any case, that was devastating. I ended the broadcast yesterday, half day Hasi, you already know, after doing 2 days of 8-hour plus broadcasts. And as a part of half day Hasi, I apologize. You know, it's half day Hasi time. It's really messed up. I know I am a really messed up person for doing that, but I had a wonderful evening with my mom where we went to the new exhibit at LACMA, and I have a lot of opinions on it. I have a lot of thoughts on it. LACMA, for those of you who don't know, is the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, and they have a new exhibition that just opened up. They have a new wing that just opened up, and while it is beautifully sourced, the new David Geffen Galleries is yet another clear-cut example of the limitations of brutalist architecture, but also the advantages that it has. Okay? I love that your mom is making you get a life. Yes. So let's start there. So ironically enough, the David Geffen Galleries I had been to for the Vanity Fair Oscars after party. Didn't even realize that I was inside of the David Geffen Galleries when I did that. This was before it was open to the public, but it's open to the public now. A new Plattner smear campaign has hit the election. Smear campaign is an insane way to describe the allegations. What happened? Is Graham Plattner cooked? I wasn't paying attention. I'm talking about art. I'm talking about art, ladies and gentlemen.
The problem is the haters.
I'm talking about art. Get cultured. Get educated. Have a newer perspective on life. Okay? We'll get to the Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk saga once again. Is rumors about a story dropping again? Ugh, whatever. In any case, folks. We'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're not crossing that bridge right now. Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts. One of the things that I want to say about this new exhibition. The architecture is beautiful, and I think like part of the reason why they're going heavily into brutalism is because the way that light hits the exhibit is important. It changes the experience. Okay. One thing, it seems like no one wants to hear about this perspective, by the way, which is kind of crazy. A lot of you are uncultured swine. I'm trying to forcibly pump culture back into your lives right now, and it seems like everyone is not invested in this at all. They just don't care about art. They don't care about the arts. you don't even see the perspective that I'm going to deliver here. One, it's beautifully sourced. It's supposed to be this like open space. You're walking through, you're going on a journey, learning about how art and culture, through conquest, colonialism, commerce, mercantilism, has regularly cross-pollinated, right? The ancient Mayans had rubber that was that they got from Peru, right? Like these ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we give them credit, and their cultures were far more integrated than we previously assumed, right? And I think that obviously still very much exists in the advent of the internet. It's maybe even it's turned into this like weird, dare I say, heinous monoculture, and capitalism has played a formative role in this. One of the things that I saw was that in South America, because we first get into the exhibition and there's like a lot of the craftsmanship from all around the world, like ancient Chinese vases and plates and things like that are delicately crafted, were then brought to Latin America, right? They were brought to South America, and it's very interesting to see that, like, there's they have these panels, these like Japanese panels, all this like tapestry, all this stuff, and it's really interesting to see the old school European colonists take their artifacts and bring them to South America, right? And then they merge it with like their own perspective on indigenous cultures and things like that. But beyond that, what I found particularly interesting was how much drip and swag people had in the old school, in the old world, whether it be ancient Mayan civilization or even like Spanish conquistadors. Like, they put a lot of time and a lot of effort into the little knickknacks that they carried everywhere with them. Obviously, it was a display of their wealth, but it is kind of crazy that we live in the abundist world. And you learned this yesterday. No, I knew about this, man. Shut up. Can I just explain it? Can I explain a story to you? Like, I'm going on a journey and I'm taking you there with me. Is that okay? Is that okay? Or do you want everyone to fucking know that you're much smarter than the orator here? Okay, you're much smarter than the narration. Are you the guy that goes, I read about this in a book? There's that period of craftsmanship that comes in the aftermath of the Industrial Revolution as a reaction to the Industrial Revolution, where people were like, no, handcrafted things are still important. And they obviously tried to bring that back. They tried to, force that as another symbol of your status. And yet it's clear that capitalism won. Okay. Capitalism won. And it has had this nullifying effect on art, artistic expression, or at least in the way that we see it in the things that we use in our everyday existence, right? They don't have these kinds of like crazy. We don't have these crazy chairs, for example. Obviously, like, part of that is great because it's like far more comfortable now. Silence, poli-sci chudda, theater kid is chirping. Yeah. Art is bourgeois decadence, bro. Don't get distracted with that trash. Okay, dude. Thanks. In any case, it's interesting to see that flatness, that dullness in contemporary existence, as opposed to like how people, like even the wealthiest people, like the modern day equivalent of a Spanish colonialist with a tremendous amount of wealth over and tremendous amount of power over like entire swaths of the population would be someone like Dana White. Okay, you go to Dana White's home and you look at the art that he has in his home, and it's a Kalashnikov rifle that's like inside of an epoxy case, and he's sitting there and explaining to you like, oh well, this is a piece of our war. Like, it's disgusting, it's gross. There's not a lot of thought or effort put into any of this. Look up Adrian Brody's art. I will not be doing that. Sorry, bro. Don't got no change on me. Okay. It's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy that like the wealthiest individuals in society have no need or no taste or no investment in even showing that they have taste. I think we are degenerating a little bit. That's what I think. In any case, folks, it's just something that I thought about. It's just something that I've been thinking about. But also, highly recommend you guys go and look at the exhibit. One of the things that I was annoyed by, for the record, was that it was more like there was more effort spent on writing about writing about the rich people that kindly and generously gifted these pieces to the LACMA, and less about the pieces and their significance. Now, one might say, oh, that's deliberate. It's because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You're supposed to interpret it. It's subjective. No, it was mind-boggling. You would look at, I found myself constantly being like, I wonder what this is about, right? Like, what is the historical significance of this piece of art that I'm looking at? And it's ironic that the placard on the side would just say the name of the artist, say the year that this art, this piece was made, and then 75% of the placard was about the wealthy guy who generously gifted this piece of art. Okay? And it's like, all right, man, we get it. Like, glaze is good, but put another fucking placard next to it that also explains the intention or the historic significance or like what the artist was trying to put out there. Yeah, I used to write those placards. We should have be told to fluff the donors, overeducate about the prominence of the piece. Yeah, half the labels on the men are just sculpted figure donated by a Rockefeller. I know, it's fucking annoying. LACMA is trash. Autry has better art and exhibits. First of all, cool on that, chill on that. No museum is trash. All museums are beautiful, okay? It's like saying a library is trash. You're never going to get me to shit talk a library. You're never going to get me to shit talk a museum, okay? These are the last bastions of this is the last bastion of defense to maintain an understanding of artistic expression, the journey that it's taken throughout history. These are some of the bravest fedayeen out there, okay? In a time and space that we live in where no one gives a fuck about art at all, whether it be art history or whether it be contemporary art, it's very important to maintain these libraries and of course museums as well. Do you talk to your mama about this? Yes, of course. But yeah, it's it's interesting. It was an interesting experience. A lot of Hasanabi heads at the exhibition. A lot of Hasanabi heads working at the LACMA. Okay, I like that they mentioned that it's earthquake proof. It spans over the Wilshire, which I think is really cool. It's interesting, right? My one autistic criticism of the LACMA is that I feel like there's no harmony with any of the other buildings, and I kind of get annoyed by that, but that's just me. Like, everything that they build out is piece by piece. It's so piecemeal, but that's my attitude. Hassan is sheltered as fuck, says Teamsters Paul. Yeah, Cleveland Museum of Art is nonprofit, but a CEO makes $300+ K a year, and the Museum of Natural History Museum top donors are energy companies. Dog, I'm literally criticizing that right now. Hell, did you just hear me say museums are good and then just like didn't hear any of the criticisms that led up to me saying, although, all of this stuff is happening, it's still very important to defend museums? Like, it's so funny. Man, I know. The hell. I wish that without relying on historic patrons of the art, which are always the super wealthy, we could have this be publicly funded and spend a great deal of time, money, and effort to preserve this stuff and make it as accessible as possible. So you don't have to spend $25 on parking, for example. You feel me? Aura, by the way. Aura. Fuck, I can't believe I'm going to defend a CEO, but I feel like $300K a year for a CEO is not the fight I really give a shit about. Anyway, what is this? Hassan Piker is the reason there's an infestation of wild pigs in Texas. They overheard him say on the broadcast that America is the nation where the hogs manifest destiny. Is true. Yeah, I don't have an opinion on the CEO, the amount of money the CEO made. Anyway, that was my take on my visit to LACMA. I had a lot of opinions on it. I wanted to, I made the mistake of telling you about it. Okay? That's what I did. It was a big mistake. Never again will I talk. Let's blast off. Do we got a blast off meme? Can I join your second art stream? No. Go to Ligma next time. What's Ligma? What's Ligma? Shut the fuck up, Hassan, and share those opinions. Yeah. Ligma balls? No! LACMA balls in a cage? No! I just got destroyed. All right, do we have a blast off meme or not, man? Do we have a motherfucking blast off meme or not? Hyena feigns trying to hump mate. I saw that. Mbappe cooking this Paraguayan senator. Yeah, I saw. We're gonna get to that. Play games, you chud ass loser. Yeah, it's Monday. I'm not gonna start the broadcast on a Monday by playing video games. You're out of your dang mind. Austin wants this is the blast off meme. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay, fuck it. I got 2 memes I'm gonna use. Okay, let's get it twisted. Let's get it blasted. All right, Kirk trial. Trump heads to NATO after effing America up. Balogun ban lifted. Abdul Stevens matchup. Michigan. Nick Palm on the broadcast to learn. Reacts are back.